Welcome to the Exarban Scholarships and Internships Podcast. I'm just laughing because this is a 10-minute podcast, but not the 10 podcast, but also just 10 minutes.
There you go.
But anyway, welcome. I'm Shonna Dorsey with the Exarban Foundation, and today I'm here with
Kerron Stark, creator and host of Mr. K's Clubhouse, Omaha's only educational preschool television series.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get into how you started with that, and then your connection to Fallen Giant Films, who we're talking about today. But before all that, when did we meet? Was it 2024? I want to say, or 23.
I think it was 2023 when
Wow.
we were doing the
Opportunity
mentorship
Corps.
thing.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That was such a long time ago, but very cool. So we were both mentors in this program that is run by Unitech out of UNMC. And just this specific cohort was focused on Black and persons of color who are interested in entrepreneurship. And then they invited us in to be mentors.
Yeah.
Which was so fun, interesting. Do you still keep in touch with your mentee or any of the folks from that? Great.
Yeah, my mentee, the main one, works at the Rose, and so I've been in connect with them a lot about a bunch of different things. So yeah, that was a cool experience. Daunting, but it was cool.
It was like a big commitment. Me too. I'm still in touch with mine. She's over at Struck, and just like it's cool to see people evolve over time. Yeah, including me as a mentor. I learn a lot from her. For sure. So anyway, well, glad we met then, and you know, we keep crossing paths. Yeah, we do. And today you are with Fallen Giant Films, but can you talk to me about how you got to this point and also your work on K's, K's Club? Mr. K's Clubhouse. Mr. K's Clubhouse.
Yeah. Yes. So I started Mr. K's Clubhouse 6 years ago in my basement of my home. I had a dream of wanting to create educational, meaningful content for preschool age kids specifically. And so that's where my work started. Graduated from there into like a small public access studio, KPAO, like 2 years after that. And then a community member that I'm friends with, more like a older brother to me now, connected me with Randy in January of 2024. He had seen the show, wanted to help me take it to the next level. Then I didn't hear from him for like 8 months. And then when I reached out to him again about Office Space, I found out they were in Blackstone. I went up and had a meeting, joined the team there with all the other people. And so starting with season 4 this year that we're filming, Fallen Giant is executive producing it, which just allows us to amplify the product that we're creating, make it look as Hollywood as it possibly can, but also still creating opportunities here for myself and then other people that we've been able to connect with. And
that's so cool. So, you know, on the show itself, like why was it important to you to focus on educational programming for preschool kids?
Yeah, because it just doesn't exist anymore. When I was looking at television shows of today for children's media, it's all rooted in adventure and it's all animation, which is fun. But at the end of those shows, those kids didn't leave with anything meaningful. At the end of it, they also just can't see themselves in cartoon characters like you can with human characters on screen. So I wanted to go back to the kind of shows I grew up with in the 90s with PBS and have a human on the screen that those kids can see themselves in and interact with, but then also prioritize education and find ways to make that education fun. And I think that's where you put the adventure is let's see what we're trying to give to them. What is something of quality that we're trying to provide? And then how do we make that fun so that it sticks in their minds? And so that's been a driving force since the beginning.
So are there any like outcomes from working with young people as like actors and then also maybe on the consumer side that come to mind for you?
So we cast local kids in our show. So between the ages of 8 and 11. So we get an opportunity to provide them a chance to see what it's like to be on a TV production, because there's nothing that exists here for young kids as far as the TV world goes. And we also pay them, which is something that no one else does when they're working with kids. And so by way of doing that, we also go out in the community and we interact with early educational centers, daycares, elementary schools, and many, many different ways, community events and other ways that we're having more of a direct impact than just let's film a TV show and have them watch it. I actually like more actually being able to interact with them in person than doing the show. But it just allows us to be able to touch all the different avenues that kids are already involved in a meaningful way.
Yeah, that's really great. And then on the flip side of this, so you've got the actors, which is great, and giving them opportunities. And then you have all the people in the background that it takes to put a show together. And we don't have to go into all of that, but can you just talk about, how you've built a team around that and also how Fallen Giant how Fallen Giant Films is supporting your work there.
So actually, this is the first year that we have a team. Usually it's just myself or a friend of mine that I graduated with who's around, and we just kind of man the cameras and do all these things. Because of being with Fallen Giant now and Randy Goodwin, we've had the opportunity to hire interns. So we have 3 who are interns, and then we have 3 others who are by association as well interns. So we have 6 people on our team, and it's the first time we've ever had a crew of people behind our show that helps us as assistant directors or the camera operators or inside the booth. And so it's been obviously a great help because it's not just all on me to manage it. But the other thing that I say about my show is we're more than just a children's show. And I mean that by we're not just creating preschool content for those kids, we're providing opportunities for everyone. And because of Fallen Giant and their help, being able to bring in interns who are, some of them have just graduated college or some of them are still in college, we get to provide them the opportunity to get into the film industry, get paid to do it, and actually get exposed to it in a way that maybe they wouldn't have elsewhere. While also I get the help to be able to produce at a high quality. So it's just, without Fallen Giant, we would not be here with a team this year. So it's been a huge jump that we've been able to take that I'm just extremely grateful for. And I think all those interns who have been there also would say that they're grateful for it as well.
That's awesome. And I don't know how familiar you are with this piece of it, but do you recall using the Intern Nebraska grant or any of the pieces with that part?
I'm kind of familiar. Usually it's Pam Perry who operates all of that. But when she was having those meetings with Intern Nebraska and then, getting the funds and trying to figure out where do we allocate that, who are the interns we bring in, I was a part of talking to each of the interns as we brought them in and gauging what their interest was and where they might fit within Fallen Giant at that moment. So I've been there from the beginning of each of the interns as they came in and trying to help guide into a place that would work for them. And outside of our show, I'm still involved with going, hey, they're doing something else outside of Mr. K's Clubhouse. You should jump in and try that out. Or they need an extra person to come in for this day of filming. If you're free, come in and do that. So I've been a part of that process of bringing them in and then keeping them looped into areas since the beginning.
That's wonderful. And so then it's like you said, not only a kids show, it's also like workforce development, career development, and even just like before development, just exploration, right? Because they get the opportunity to do a lot of different things.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, and that's what I think is rewarding. And what we try to provide with our show in general is I'm really big on dreams and I'm big on try something out first. For them, they're in college or just got out of college, so they haven't been able to really try it on. This is their first experience in that. But what I hope that we do with Fallen Giant and through our show and the other productions is continue to provide those opportunities to try a hat on and say, either I like this or I don't. And if you don't, what else is there that we have here that you can get into and try that out instead? I think that's how we start to really figure out what it is that we want to do versus, for myself, it was dreaming about wanting to do something until I graduated and I was an adult, and then I'm like, I actually don't like this thing.
Right.
Now what do? I think if we're providing opportunities, and that's what we do with our show from the youngest age, they get a chance to try different things out, and we help them then to just continue to be successful versus trying to find where is your area.
Exactly, like honing that passion and then turning it into a craft that's marketable.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
That's fantastic. Okay, so this was your first time hiring interns.
Yes.
So what advice would you give to someone who's in a similar position and they're like, it sounds like a good idea, but it sounds like maybe too much work, or our team won't have time, or in this case, you won't have time to train people. So what's your perspective on that?
I think just do it, because without people providing young adults or just interns in general an opportunity to try something out, they don't get a chance to build their resumes or their portfolios. And then by association of that, we have less people in the industry in the fields that we need them in being able to do the work. Sometimes it's a little stressful and it's a little daunting to try to manage it all. But I think the reward at the end of being able to help out people and give them opportunities and then allowing them a place to be successful, that means, I think that matters more in the long run than wondering if you have the time or can you do it. Oftentimes we psych ourselves out anyway, where we look at all the negatives of what it could be before we look at the positives. And I think if we just do it, that I'm big on try something and then look back at it and go, what worked well, what didn't, how do we tweak it, and now let's try it again. And I think that's the best way that you can do it, is just jump in, try it out, and then if there's something that needs to be altered, then you alter it and do it again.
Exactly. Like just kind of pivot and move forward, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Love it. Okay. So with, I'm going to say a couple minutes left. What's something that you want people to know, or some ways that people can support what you're up to or what the team at Fallen Giant Films is up to?
Yeah. I just want people to know that we're in the community looking for ways to connect with other people in the community and provide opportunities. And if we're not providing opportunities, how do we help elevate others who have been here doing it? That's what Fallen Giant has done for me. A lot of people think that they came in and we started this show, but I've been doing it for 6 years. But it took them just one look to say, hey, we want to help elevate this. This is something that's already here. We don't have to reinvent that wheel. Let's do it. So if there's anyone in the community who's interested in this or who has been doing it, who could use the extra hand up or could help with what we're doing, reach out, make some connection. That's the only way that we're going to be able to grow this industry, is by using each other and building with each other versus setting up a bunch of small pockets that don't associate with each other. So by way of doing that, just connecting with us and then just tuning into the stuff that we're doing on social media and things like that, all the views and reactions and things also help to put us more into the algorithm. That's a weird thing to even try to figure out anyway. And that's the best way I think people can help support.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, we are super out of time, but I'm going to ask you one more question.
Sure.
Because this time frame is made up.
It's not like a 12-minute podcast.
The 20-minute one.
Yeah.
But so you've been doing this for 6 years. Is there, like for you personally, your favorite like outcome, learning, anything like that, where you're like, this is what I meant to be doing?
There's a lot of moments. It's usually when I hear back from people who watch our show. I'll list a couple real fast. So we have puppeteers on our show. Most of the puppeteers who are on our show, their dream as kids were to be puppeteers. One of them specifically, their dream was to be an illustrator. So by way of our show, it's their first paid gig of being a puppeteer, but also we published a book with their illustrations. So now they have a published children's book. So that's one way that we help people that's not just preschool. But recently we did a movie last year that was talking about therapy animals. We went to a farm and we were also talking about adoption. And we just got a message the other day from a daycare there's like a little kid in the daycare, maybe 4 or 5, who saw that movie, and he went up to the daycare provider and was saying like, hey, Mr. K is talking about adoption. And he was getting adopted by a new family, and he made that association at the young age that he is by watching our show. And he was just super excited about the fact that we talked about adoption, and he knows that his family is getting a new little boy. And that those moments like that shows me that the stuff that we're doing is useful and beneficial. And so we just continue to do that, keep that on the forefront, and hopefully connect with more kids, more families, the longer that we go.
Yeah, that's so great. One final thing that I want to share, and then would love to hear your thoughts on this, but the thing that I think is so cool about what you do and about people who host like really successful, impactful internships are when students or interns, if they're recent graduates, have the opportunity to see their work be published out in the world, right? And so like, even if they're working in a sound booth as a tech, I'm not sure exactly what that means. I'm just putting words together right now. But if they're doing that, they know that that work led to an outcome, that this is the show that could lead to that little boy in a daycare making a connection, So I think that's critical. So as the employers out there, I would say make your work meaningful, and the closer you can connect the intern's work to the real world, the better.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. One thing that we do when we start our show, before we start filming each day, is we have like a mindfulness minute. And so everything that I lead them through, by the end, I tie it into how that correlates to the stuff that we're making that's going to go out into the world, and those kids are going to see it. And so, with a show like this specifically, we really get to see that in real time, which is, I think, helps them out a lot to be able to see that, hey, we're actually doing something meaningful with it. And I think that just adds to the experience for them for sure.
Absolutely. Well, this has been great. Good catching up with you. We'll have to have you back after your summer internships are over, just to see how it all went, what you learned.
Yeah, definitely. I'll come back anytime.
Awesome. Well, thanks again.
Thank you.